And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is? It is time for the latest, the newest, the finalized studio, which is looking great. Episode of Don't At Me with Michael and Alex in studio live in Beverly Hills, baby.
We are here, baby.
Wait. We got to do it right this time.
Let's do it.
Ready?
Yeah.
Live from Beverly Hills in Studio A, we are Don't At Me with Michael and Alex on this beautiful sunny day in Beverly Hills, California. Michael, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, I am doing well, feeling good. Hey,
feeling good?
It's going to be a great episode. Yeah, because I feel a parade coming in LA. Maybe two.
Feel a parade. I guess, we can kind of adjust things around since you're feeling a certain way. We'll talk about Philly and how they're feeling because, as we know, the one-time Clippers coach and also one-time coach of the 2008 champion Boston Celtics, Doc Rivers, has decided to join one Philadelphia and now become the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. Giving them a legitimate coach that can provide the proper roles and ways.
The Brown era is over.
The process, ladies and gentlemen, that you guys were waiting for, that Sam Hinkie talked about, now it's loading. Here we go. This is the final test. So, Philadelphia has hired Doc Rivers. And out the gate, I just want to mention the fact that we had talked prior to the show, and I want to give an example real quick. To me, this is a poor man's example and not necessarily accurate given the Hall of Fame status, bless you, and also the talent, COVID cough. It is Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid will get utilized similarly akin to how Rajon Rondo and Kevin Garnett were utilized in Boston, except for the fact that Joel Embiid in this case can do a lot more as a player and is a lot more talented in certain ways that KG wasn't, so he will be able to benefit from that. And Doc Rivers will be able to utilize Rondo's style of passing and playing for Simmons to start setting up Embiid down low, which we talked about, and making him more of a post-presence threat, which they definitely need. If Embiid can fill that void that has been so longing for Philadelphia, they can make that next step, and I think Doc Rivers will utilize those two perfectly, and as well as getting them solid on the defensive side of the things. I think Simmons and Embiid will step up defensively for them.
I think what Doc can do that's going to help this Philadelphia 76ers is kind of take from that Boston team and then take from his Lob City Clippers to where you kind of build mostly, and I'm talking about Boston towards the end where the guys were older. It was mostly Rondo.
Oh, and you had KG basically at the 4-5 spot.
Yeah, and you had, it was mostly like, okay, Rondo makes things happen. With the Clippers, like CP3, you're going to come here and make things happen.
You facilitate through the guards.
I think it's finally time for them to build through Ben Simmons, and I think that Doc Rivers is going to realize that with a guy as talented as Embiid, you don't really have to do much for him. Just give him his post touches, get him in some pick and roll where he can pick and pop or take you off the dribble. So you don't really have to build an entire offense around him.
He is the offense. He's kind of
simple. It's very simple. But with Ben Simmons, he needs to have the right pieces around him.
Yes.
And be able to have a pace to the game so that he can be maximized, especially if he doesn't come back shooting jump shots, which, God damn it, shoot jump shots. You need to make these shots.
That will extend their game, especially with Doc Rivers. He could extend the game for him. Look, we saw what CP3 was able to do as both a facilitator and a scorer. Imagine what Ben Simmons with his length,
6'11",
length, his ability, his athleticism. That'll change the Clippers. I mean, not the Clippers. Whoops. Yeah. That'll change the 76ers offense up on its heels.
Two teams at home that we love to talk about. But
since we're at that point, the Clippers, I think for this instance, I like the move, and I'm giving a thumbs up on this, although I will allow my Boston bias to creep in. Look, you go to the Clippers, Doc, that's cool. As a Celtics fan, I'm fine with that. You can't go to the Lakers after you want a ring with the Celtics. I think most fans would agree with that. As a head coach, especially.
Yeah.
Most particularly a head coach, because Rondo can do that. That's the first guy I've said, and I'll steadfast on that. But if he went to the Lakers, that'd be bad. He went to Philly, who, albeit is an in-conference rival, I'm still not a fan of it, but I'm going to live with it. But I think from the standpoint of actual basketball, look, this was the right move. Philadelphia got a perfect coach at the right time. It was the perfect storm of events, and they will be better off for it.
He has something to prove. Embiid and Ben Simmons have something to prove. Tobias, the guys on that roster. I think you have to find a way to get Horford out of there. I think that it's a great move for Doc Rivers and the 76ers to make that push. The East is open.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There's no LeBron there.
I think it's fair to say
the East is open.
I think it's fair to say that right now, right out the gate right now going into next season, it's fair enough to look at Philadelphia as a for sure lock to being a top 3 seed.
Yeah, as long as they're healthy, I think that
2.
they should be top 3.
I think they will be. I think that Doc Rivers will be able to come in and immediately change the offense and not only make them a better team overall, but in particular, like we've always said, make them a better road team, which has been an issue that for some reason.
Which is crazy that they won so many games at home but couldn't figure it out
and
on the
they
road.
were still seeded that high.
Yeah.
With that many losses away.
And, you know, it sucks that they didn't have Ben Simmons for the playoffs in the bubble to give Boston a tougher game. But I think they're going to be all right. What's up, Doc? I love the move.
What's up, Doc?
I think that Philly is going to be a team that has to be reckoned with because he's going to get the respect from those guys.
Yes. He will get a lot more respect from the guys, both as players and from the
off
higher
the court.
ups.
And off the court, he's going to be able to gain that relationship like he was able to do with some of his players, especially the Boston guys. So I'm very intrigued by the move. I love it. But speaking of Boston, let's talk about what's next, man. Like, what happened? We were supposed to get a Lakers-Celtic final.
That was the narrative that everyone said, including myself.
Yeah, you thought that it was going to happen.
Look,
but Miami
we saw it by the way they were doing the commercials. If you watch the ESPN commercials during Game 6, right, you'll see that they show highlights of the Heat and they show highlights of the Nuggets separately, and then they show the Lakers and Celtics, and then it says NBA Finals, right? Of course they would. But look, the Celtics, 3 things. I'm going to give you the 3 issues real quick. First issue, the opposing guard play, right? And what I mean by that is the Celtics have an inability of stopping opposing guards, whether it be scoring guards or point guards, both on the facilitation side of things and the scoring side of things.
Yeah.
They've given up big leads to those guys all year, dating back to pre-COVID season when I've said to you, and I've said on this show before.
And I love Tyler Hero and how he plays, but there's no way in hell
leave it.
Wait. 37 points.
Let me get this. Colin Sexton, Russell Westbrook, you had Donovan Mitchell, and you also had Karis LeVert, all of which scored between 38 to 54 points on the Celtics in the pre-COVID season, right? I thought that things would get shifted slightly going into this bubble. You know, we heard Danny say Kemba wasn't 100% right. You know, Hayward's ankle was still 2 weeks away. Whatever, it's done.
Yeah.
But look, the Celtics still had an issue with opposing scoring guards.
Yep.
We saw that they could not handle Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Mitchell Robinson. I'll even throw him in the mix there. And with Toronto,
Duncan Robinson, damn it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Duncan Robinson, forgive me, man. I'm going to edit this. Actually, no, I'm going to keep this in because I owe you an apology.
We respect you, Duncan.
You're in the finals. I owe you an apology. Duncan Robinson, not Mitchell Robinson. That's a shout out to Mitchell Robinson, which isn't disrespect on your end.
He's working on his jump shot too.
Yeah. There we go. But look, with the Celtics, they gave up those leads, and they couldn't even handle Fred VanVleet and at times Kyle Lowry. So they need to address the defensive side of things, which is confusing to me as a Celtics fan, given we have Jaylen Brown, we have Marcus Smart, and also an underrated defender in Brad Wanamaker, Kemba Walker, who was doing work too. So that's something we need to address.
Defender,
Second thing, we need to address the big situation, all right? Yes. We have Daniel Tice, we have Enes Kanter, we have Robert Williams III, Grant Williams, and also Taco Fall on the bench. No big name centers, no one that's really truly a both side dominant and also big, and by definition of the big, I mean literally big time athlete, right?
Because they made Bam look like Wilt Chamberlain.
Exactly. They are undersized centers that play European style, and I love Tice in his game, but we need to get a big man somewhat more akin to a Miles Turner or a guy that's like Andre Drummond, someone that can actually be a bruiser down low, take fouls, and then we can take them out and put in a guy like Kanter or Tice, you know?
Yeah.
Third, Gordon Hayward situation, which is now a player option that he's going to go pick up. He
must go.
Look, he's 4th in scoring on the Celtics team. He's a reliable guy, but at this point, I'm very interested to see how the Celtics address this situation, because if you look at Gordon Hayward's deal, he has 1 more year left on this contract, which is a player option, which you and I both know. $34 million.
He's taking the money.
You're picking the money up. You take the bag. Money. Take the money, bro.
Yes.
Right. So he takes the money, and the Celtics now are left in a peculiar situation because they need to upgrade talent, but the only way they can do so is by moving specific contracts and also pieces that are of value. So Hayward becomes a guy like Andre Iguodala with Golden State and Memphis. You're a guy that's on a big contract that might be somewhat productive with another team, but we got to find that fit, because clearly the Celtics need to make some changes, whether it's for the bigs, whether it's adding more defensive-minded guards to come off the bench, or even scoring positions off the bench, like Jamal Crawford or guys like that.
And you just want to give more responsibility as far as the scoring to your big three, which is Kemba, Brown, and Tatum. And Hayward should get out Get out the way.
Hayward has the ability of being a Brad Stevens student from prior days.
Yeah.
So he gets favoritism and nepotism to some degree, which I get, and I understand. I truly understand it, especially as a Celtics fan. Look, we spent the max money on Hayward. We want to get our value, and especially from the higher
up.
You
saw what he was doing in Utah, and you were like, damn, if we could somehow get some of that out with these pieces.
And look, you saw what he could do with Boston this year, and that was a good amount, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, when he was healthy and he was getting there, right?
Yeah.
He was a very productive fourth option for us, and it made sense. But now we know what we need, and he's the only tradable piece to get what we need.
That's too much money for a fourth option. But I'm tired of talking about the Celtics. Right, so, I'm tired of talking about Philly.
We're done talking about the Celtics, ladies and gentlemen. We're done talking about the Celtics. But as usual, this is the latest episode of Don't At Me with Mike Kell and Alex, live from Studio A in Beverly Hills. Mike Kell, the PG.
Yes.
I'm Hymes LA, HYMES LA. Please like and subscribe and check us out on our social medias and leave us a comment down below. Man, I'm trying to run our words smoothly, and I'm caffeinated, baby. Today's episode is brought to you by High Brew Coffee. Shout out to them for getting me charged up. Man, I'm sweating in the studio. Woo, baby. It's 12 grams of protein, creamy cappuccino, natural cappuccino flavor. Notice how I'm shaking while I'm holding this? Holy crap, I am buzzing.
It's real. But, man, let's talk about it. The NBA Finals is here, literally, because at first it looked really bad, like it was just going to be a sweep for my Lakers. But the Miami Heat came to play in Game 3. And they didn't surprise me because I expected a 5 or 6 game series.
I know you did.
But it surprised a lot of fans.
I know you did. I'm going to let you finish, but I got to let you know. I showed up ready for this conversation. You know why?
Let me hear it.
Well, bam! We got the Miami Heat colorway 95s, baby. Come on. Come on, baby.
Oh, yeah. Hey, those are actually the sweet jerseys, the black ones with the Miami Beach colors. But
dude, their colorway is amazing.
Yeah, the colorway is amazing.
Now back to the finals.
Yeah, but the finals, it's finally here. You know, when another team gets a win, that's lets you know, okay, this is a real thing. And Miami came, they showed out. Jimmy Butler, shout out to the 40-point triple-double. 17 from Olynyk, 17 from Tyler Hero. Just a big-time performance for them. But I just want to chime in on my Lakers. And everybody, A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers said it best a year ago, talking about his Packers. Relax. It was just one game. It's just a game. I expected them to lose. I'm even expecting them to lose another one. Don't expect it to be tomorrow's game.
You don't expect back-to-backs.
Yeah, I expect them to lose another one. Maybe. It determined Jimmy might have woke them up by talking that mess, leaving the fourth quarter. But you just had AD came out. He dealt with foul trouble. 2 fouls in the first, 3 in the second quarter, 4 in the third. So he couldn't really get it a rhythm going. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 turnovers. He couldn't really get a rhythm going. He had his spurt at the end of the third, but it just wasn't enough, for him to dominate it. I have said it over and over again. Shout out my guy Nicky, Clutch Points on his show I Got Next. I said that for the Lakers to win, they need AD to be the MVP. And this game really proved it because LeBron had his 23, 10, and 8. He had 8 turnovers, didn't play well in the fourth quarter. He has to be better. You're the king. People call you the GOAT. We expect more. But when AD doesn't play well, look at all the losses in the bubble.
Yeah.
The Lakers lose when AD doesn't play well.
Yeah.
In this game, he didn't play well because of the foul trouble, and he just couldn't get into a rhythm, and they took a loss. But we're going to be okay. All right?
Okay.
We're going to be okay.
Now, we're talking from the Heat perspective over here.
Yes.
Look, I'm also going to be the one to say, as usual, as an NBA fan, it's one game.
Yeah,
right?
one game.
One game. You take it one game at a time. Job's not finished.
Yeah.
Job's not finished.
Job's not finished.
Now, look, from the Heat perspective, LeBron should not have opened his mouth in the first quarter because against any dude, it just happened to be Jimmy Butler. And this is the most, look, like, I'll level with you. He's the most honest, like, it was the most unexpected person that you could ever figure to do this to LeBron. And by this, I mean, waking up the beast in the first quarter and then yapping at him and the Lakers bench to end the fourth when he sealed the deal. And this is a guy that had a 40, 13, and 10 triple-double. The first time in the NBA Finals that any player has outscored, out-assisted, and out-rebounded LeBron James.
Crazy.
Even as a teammate.
Yeah.
That's the first time. The Heat, just as you said about the Anthony Davis being the motor that gets the Lakers engine going, and he's the reason why they win. The reason why the Heat win is because Jimmy Butler scores.
Jimmy buckets.
And last night, we had talked about it. Jimmy Butler did this without taking a three-point shot. That means he's using all mid-range and he's going post and doing work.
Don't add me. He is the poor man's version of Michael Jordan. That's all I'm
going to leave that one alone. And let fans, please, if you think that's nonsense, please comment down below. And I'm going to post this one on Facebook because they need to get put on a spit roast like a pig and just get put all over like a rotisserie chicken.
I'm ready to debate, bro. Jimmy Butler is the poor man's version of Michael Jordan. He doesn't have the athleticism and burst like MJ, but he does a lot of MJ type things. He's a first team all defense, and if he had the athleticism, he would score like this every game. Now he's stuck over there, and he will be, even more amazing. But he had an amazing performance. You got it.
All right, we're done talking about the Lakers. The Heat got one game. Look, I think that they woke up the beast. I think that the Heat, realistically, when you're a team that's in the finals, right, I think it's a respectful thing to say that any team that makes it to the finals, you're getting a gentleman's sweep. You're not getting swept, right? Out of respect. Unless you're a KD Golden State team, that's a little different, right? And even then, that's
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah,
so
they're those teams that are variants, right?
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, every team that makes it to the finals deserves enough credit to say they're going to get gentleman's swept, not a sweep.
At least the game.
Yeah. And with the Heat, I think that they're respectful enough to get another win in the series. I think that it's false to assume that the Lakers are now just going to steamroll from here. Look, when you wake up these guys, they're going to be playing. They have now a purpose to play for. They were playing with house money to begin with.
Yeah.
No one picked them to make the playoffs.
They were without Bam and Dragic.
No, not just that. Dating back. No one picked them to make the playoffs. No one picked them to be in the postseason. No one picked them to actually
make it to the finals.
No one picked them to beat the Celtics. No one picked them to beat any of these teams, and here they are in the finals with Jimmy Butler out hustling LeBron James and making him look terrible in the fourth. And then we have to talk about LeBron going to the locker room, that whole fiasco. That's a little nonsense. Look, fans, I'm going to level with you too on this. As an NBA fan, it's one game and it's the NBA Finals. This is not a game 4 loss where they tie the series, and this was the last 0.7 seconds. You already knew what the outcome was, and LeBron knows what he needs to do. He was pissed off at his play. Drop it, let it go, on to the next night.
For the idiots out there who may want to compare it to the Pistons walking off
No, this is
Jordan,
completely different.
Like, that was a series over. Usually guys shake hands, say good luck in the
finals. And there's a lot more history there, too.
There's no rivalry.
This is one game.
LeBron was just pissed.
Away. Yeah. You walk away, and you don't want to be on camera seen, so you're trying to relax and let out the steam. But god damn it, man, if this is game 4 and he does the same thing, that's when I'll be pissed. But anyone that's talking right now about this, calm down, relax, and stay in your lane. Actually, stay in your lane. But at the end of the day, the Heat, I think, can win another game. I don't think they'll win the next game, right? I think the Lakers will make it a tough affair, and they'll actually win probably by like 5-10 points, the foul game at the end.
I agree.
And then they'll win game 5. They'll lose in 6. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I got 6 games. Like, I had before either 5 or 6. I was really leaning towards 5 just because the Lakers were beating everybody in 5. But I think Miami will find a way to get another game, and it's going to be a 6-game series. So I'm with you on that.
Perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the latest episode of Don't At Me with Mike, Kel, and Alex. As usual, you know what we're going to tell you right now. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Please give us a follow on social media at Mike Kel the PG, at HymesLA, HYMESLA. And guys, we know that you're loving what we're doing here, so I can repeat it. Please,
I know you guys love it. And remember this, I'm telling you right here now, my Chiefs will beat the Patriots in today's game. I can't wait for you guys to watch this episode. Yes,
That's if they're healthy enough. That's if they're healthy enough.
Yeah, but they're healthy.
6 rings, baby. Oh, by the way, you know the one thing I will mention on this show? At least Cam hasn't been throwing a lot of pick sixes this year.
No, true. Yeah, but hey, shout out Cam, you're playing great.
Shout out to those boys down in Tampa Bay.
We're going to be celebrating. I'm going to be celebrating a lot, man. 2020 has been tough. But, oh, snap.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the latest episode of Don't At Me with Mike, Kel, and Alex. Like and subscribe down below. We will catch you.
Love it.
Where's your usual? No, you usually say it. We'll catch you.
I don't know. I forgot. Catch you in.
When does our next episode drop?
I don't know.
Next week. We'll catch you
next week.
Bam.